if I could snap my fingers and remove all the problems in your life, would you want me to? And they'd be like, yeah. If you had 0 problems in your life, you'll die.
Extremely good speaker, incredible motivator. He is the host of the podcast Dropping Bombs on Brad Lee TV.
Brad Lee back again.
Go of closing deals.
Brad Lee!
You're a salesman. Did you go straight in? What's the background?
I've been in sales my whole life. I didn't realize that was a skill set that would make me wealthy. How come more people aren't in sales? And I had the knack of grabbing somebody out of a Burger King window and turn them into a salesperson. So I quit my job to go start a training company.
And I'm probably the best there is.
I feel your passion. Is it because you really care about people?
Yeah, because my whole family, my whole life has been blue collar, hard working, good people. Because the reason you get what you get is because you think that's all you're worth. Because salespeople get paid what they're worth. Most people do not figure out what it is they truly want, because the hardest thing to do is to figure out what you want.
Do you think it's because they're too scared to look in the mirror?
People need to just simplify.
What would you say is the most common factors in successful people that you see?
If someone were to come to me and say, Brad, coach me on how to become successful. Okay, the first thing I'm going to look at is your...
Gladiators, welcome back. Straight to the main man, the real great, amazing Brad Lee from the US. It's 8:30 in the morning. Man, I honor you for coming to the studio, being here for us. And I know my audience, which reaches 4 to 10 million views and listeners, they can't wait for this session of ours together. So thank you again, Brad.
Thank you, man. Damn, what an audience. That's a lot.
Do you know, it's really strange. We were looking at the stats, and on my social media, we have a reach of about 12 million. 30% of my audience is in Brazil. I had no idea. So if we ever do a session in Brazil, we'll be packed.
Yeah, I just found out I'm #1 in the entrepreneur podcast category in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, I know St. Kitts very well. It's crazy.
Apparently, if I land down in St. Kitts, I'll be a celeb.
Yeah, same. So we can go St. Kitts, Brazil and back, no problem. We'll be absolute chocker. The next one was Bangladesh and then India. At 19% of my followers are in India. But then at those numbers, 1.5, 2, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just waving to the millions of people in Bangladesh.
Yeah, exactly. Man, you're going to wave to them in person in November when we get you over. I can't wait to have you.
I'm looking forward to the visit. I'm looking forward to going over there. I was there, 10 or 15 years ago, helping I think it was the 3rd largest construction company in Dubai, building half the city. I was there when it did not look like it does today. I think it was not, what the name is, the Al-Nabuda construction.
Yeah, they're still going.
Yeah, so I went over there and I closed Al-Nabuda to use Lightspeed VT to train everyone that was out in the desert building all the stuff.
And did they use it much?
Well, yeah, they had to. They have to teach them what to do for heat exhaustion and all this stuff.
Did you use the subscription model like you are now? Or
of course, my friend.
Great. Because you know what it is? You did this, like 9 years ago, right?
Al-Nabuda, yeah, it was probably been 10,
and
15 years.
And now everybody's doing subscription models, so you were ahead of your time.
I started it in 1999, so I was way ahead. I started it when the internet came, like when the bubble burst on the .com industry. That's when I started my .com. But I didn't really have a .com. I had a training solution. I just didn't realize it at the time.
Do you mind if we just go back a little, education-wise?
I'm an open book. I'm just here to freaking hopefully drop some value on the millions of listeners from all over the world.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I owe a lot of these listeners and viewers to you, because you kindly offered spots on your podcast for absolutely no reason, just generous from kindness of your heart, and it just got momentum, and my viewers went through the roof.
Well, let me respond to that. You said for no reason at all. And see, that's where I disagree. There was a reason. See? What that reason was, I couldn't necessarily put my thumb on it, but I could tell you that there was a reason for sure.
So 3 years later, you still don't know what that reason was?
Well, I've never really thought about it.
Was it my magnetism? Was it my amazing positive energy? Was it the bald head full of knowledge?
I think it was the way that you speak.
The British accent and very soft.
Yeah, very soft, very, very, kind.
Yeah.
Kind, soft tones, little accent there. Thoughtful. You're a good dude. And I thought, man, we need to get this dude on the freaking interweb.
But you know what? If my wife hadn't asked, I would never have asked. And I would have flown back from Vegas with a lump in my throat, because whether I was shy or ego or whatever, I would never have asked. And my wife said, would you like to interview my husband? And you immediately said yes. So I'm ever so grateful to her as well. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I did. So is the rest of the world. So are 19% of the Bangladeshians.
Do you know how many T-shirts are being made right now listening to us? Incredible.
1 million?
Even the Armani ones that I watched on your last podcast. Yeah. Brad, were you in education? Do you have university education? I know that you're a salesman. Did you go straight in? What's the background, please?
Yeah, I didn't go to university. Matter of fact, didn't even graduate high school. I dropped out in the 11th grade. Decided I wanted to be a movie star since I was probably 7 or 8. And my dad kicked me out of the house for not mowing the lawn, like I said I would. So at 16, I'm out on my own. So obviously, I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and just kind of started learning from the University of Hard Knocks.
Did you have siblings, right?
Many.
And was it easy for you? Did you feel any form of rejection from your father? Did your mom fight to keep you in the house? Did that affect you later on in life, do you think?
Well, I think our past and our memories obviously shape our, personalities. So it affected me for sure, I'm sure. But I can't, again, pinpoint how it affected me. Like, I can't think back and be like, yeah, that's why I'm like this. In my mind, I had a good childhood. This was back when we went outside to play at frickin' 8 a.m. and didn't come home until it was dark out. Mm-hmm. And when you got home, the door was just unlocked. Matter of fact, you'd just sleep with the door unlocked. This was back when, we'd play cops and robbers, pine cone fights, build forts, like cool stuff. Now, nobody does that stuff anymore. No. So we had food, we had money. My dad was a hardworking dude.
Is he still with us?
No.
Did he experience your success?
Yeah. He got to see me, doing well.
Did you have a conversation?
Well, it's funny. I remember a story. I was getting ready to go to a family reunion. My family's not big on family, if you know what I mean. It's like they're not real close, but they still recognize that they're family. So every once in a while, they'll have a family reunion. So they finally have this family reunion. And keep in mind, this is where everybody's coming. So I figure I'm going to rent a helicopter and land where it is, which is at my uncle's property out in a place called Junction City. And so my plan is to freaking fly in and then get a helicopter and land at the family reunion. So I tell my dad, and I'm all excited. Everybody, I got all the arrangements made. And so I called my dad and I said, hey, I'm gonna, don't tell anybody, but I'm gonna land in a helicopter. And he said, well, that's probably not going to be a good idea because you're going to be blowing dirt all over the food. You're going to ruin the potato salad. And I'm like, I'm going to ruin the potato salad. Like,
Yeah.
and so I just literally canceled.
Wow.
Never went.
So he was those words triggering.
Well, it's just like, come on,
The
dude. Your
mindset.
kid's landing in a helicopter. Your ass has been working in a mill your whole life. Your kid's landing in a helicopter and you're worried about ruining potato salad.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I would have been like, awesome, man. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
This is going to be epic.
Do you think that made you a better father? I know you're an amazing dad.
I don't know. Again, I wouldn't say I'm an amazing dad, but I've had
Well, you are
3
to your
shots.
daughters now. I don't know because you have children previously.
Yeah, but Dariush, I've had 3 shots at being a dad. So I hope by the 3rd time I'm pretty good at it.
So,
The reason I say that is because at 17 I had a child, but I was immature and obviously so was the mom, young. So at the end of the day, I didn't raise that baby. I got her when she was 14, by the way, but the next one, boom, had another kid, a little fling, high school sweetheart, then a fling, tried sex twice, 2 babies.
thank God. Thank God.
Anyway,
thank God
so here
we're
I am
7,000
here I
miles
am
away.
with-
You sneeze, I get pregnant. I have to be careful, right?
Yeah. Hey, what's funny is my wife's friend was over with her husband, I think, and I guess they've been trying to get pregnant, and Melissa was pregnant at the time, and her girlfriend told her husband, "I want to get pregnant like Melissa."
You have to
And I
sleep
said-
with Brad.
I said, "Well, then you'd have to come over a lot more often if you want to get pregnant like she did."
Has she been pregnant since?
Well, we have a 2-year-old, so 2 years ago I had my last
No,
child.
the other friend. Did she get pregnant? Not yet.
I don't know.
Okay, you haven't been in touch. After
I don't
that
think
one
so.
night, she never came back.
Yeah, my wife and I are just like, we don't entertain a lot at the house. Like, we're each other's best friend.
That because you're very sociable. From what I remember, you were very sociable. You have
I am
lots
sociable.
of if the way your podcast come across, who's the person behind walking across? Anyhow, the way your podcast come across that everybody's friend. Yeah. I was talking to a few people about you and they were saying like, he's very masculine, but his humor lets him get away with a lot of things, he says. So he doesn't offend.
Hey, you got some intuitive, observational people.
Yes. Because, if you're going to come over to the Middle East, I've got to ask people because the mentality is not exactly the same as the West. And everybody said they're going to love it. They're going to love you being here. And they get your humor.
I hope so. But I thought, you were going to say something like we might have to adjust for this part of the world.
No.
Well, again,
Somebody like
other than common courtesy and respect, obviously I show that to everybody in all parts of the world. But I would just be myself, and if they didn't like me, then I guess I wouldn't be invited
they'll love you,
back.
Brad. Was sales your first type of job that you got into? Because you came out of home, and how old were you? You were 17. You had a young family. Did you go into sales straight away, or did you try different jobs? Because I've been fired from so many jobs I can't remember, but sales was the best thing I got involved in.
When I think back, there's a lot of things that I did. I can remember things out of the blue. Sometimes I'm like, man, I can't even recall the last time I remembered that. But when I think back about my first job, so to speak, other than odds and ends and nonsense, it was fighting fires in the Pacific Northwest. Everyone said I needed a real job, and they kept saying real. And so I'm like, okay. So I went out and applied with the Forest Service, and I got hired up in the mountains, what I thought was fighting fires. So I go up there, like you got to get up like at 4 a.m. You ride a bus all the way up into the mountains. If there's forest fires up there, you're up in the mountains when there's fires up there. You're supposed to be helping putting them out. So we're going up there, man, and I get there thinking that I'm some stud firefighter. Well, as soon as I got off the bus, they threw me this big old heavy backpack filled with water and told me to walk up and down the hillsides looking for smoldering stumps so that it wouldn't reignite, and just squirt them with this, what they called a piss bag. So I'm thinking I'm going to be this studly firefighter, and it turns out I'm the piss bag operator. That's already strike one. Okay. I went up there thinking I'm going to be a freaking superhero saving eagle eggs, and got Wolf by my side, and, champion. And I get up there and get a big old heavy bag of water called a piss bag to squirt on stumps. So anyway, after a couple days of it, I get poison oak on my arm. Poison oak is like a rash that itches. It's not good, and it can spread. So I told the dude, I'm not going to be able to come in. I got poison oak. Well, this dude opened his shirt up and showed me his body was covered in it. And he said, buddy, that's just part of the job. Now get on out there and go to work. And I said, man, if this is a real job, I don't want a real job. So I quit. Next day, opened up the newspaper, saw an ad for selling cars. I thought, let me go try this. I walk into the dealership. Now, keep in mind, I'm still 17 technically. I'm 18 in 6 weeks. You have to be 18 to sell cars, mind you. So I go in there. I fill out the application. It says back then it just said, are you 18 years or older? And I put a check between the yes and the no. I didn't check yes or no. I checked in between. And they interviewed me and hired me, and I didn't say anything. And so after I found out you had to be 18, I was running around bragging that I was only 17, and all the other salesmen whose asses I were kicking got pissed and told the GM. The GM called me in and said, how old are you? And I already knew he knew. That's why he was asking. So I said, 17, sir. And he says here, you said here you were 18. Holds up my application. I said, well, I didn't know which one. I don't think I clicked. I don't think I checked yes. He looked, he goes, oh, I think you're clever. He goes, when do you turn? No, he says, how many cars do you have out right now? And at this point, most salesmen might have had 2 or 3. I was sitting on 18. Wow. I mean, I was crushing everybody. Wow. And I said, however many it were, let's say 18. He said, how long until you turn 18? I said, probably about 3 weeks. He said, can you keep your mouth shut that long? I said, yes, sir. He said, get on out there, sell cars, keep your mouth shut. And I thought, man, that's cool, number one. Number two, the next day I walk out on the lot and they're telling me, go pick out a car. Now, keep in mind, this was Williams Wilson Pontiac Volkswagen. So we had Volkswagens and Pontiacs. Well, Pontiacs have Trans Ams. Trans Ams have T-tops.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there looking at this row of Trans Ams, and they're telling me I get a car to drive. It's called a demo. And I'm like, I get a car to drive because I'm a salesman here? They're like, yeah, you have to know the product. So they give you a car, you drive it for 2 or 3 months or sell it. And I'm like, man, are you kidding me? I get to wear a suit, wear cologne. I get a car. They want me to have a car versus wanting me to have poison oak. So I'm like, dude, sales is my thing. So that's when I started selling.
What was your magic, Brad? What was the magic? Why were you so successful? Because most people will go, well, I'm only 17, I've got no experience.
Let me go back to first grade first. This might answer that question.
Okay.
So first grade, they give me a box of chocolate candy bars to bring home and sell to my family. And, they'd give all the kids, chocolate bars to sell to raise money for the school. So I go home, nobody's buying anything. In fact, my brothers ate a couple that now I have to pay for. So I'm like, I got to sell these. Well, my family, again, blue collar, they're not buying a bunch of candy bars from me. They're stealing them, but they're not buying them. So I go hit the doors Knock, knock, knock. Hello, you want to buy a candy bar? Didn't work very well. After about 3 doors, I'm like, I got to think up something to say. So I put the box behind my back. I knocked on the door. This person answered the door. And I said, do you have the phone number to a good roof repairman? And she said, what? I took the box, pulled them out from behind me and said, because when you taste one of these, you're going to go through the roof. And dude, she bought the whole box. I couldn't believe it. Go to school the next day, they give me more boxes. I go knock on doors. I start saying that at every door, and everybody starts buying tons of them. And all I said was, do you know the phone number to a good roof repairman? Why? Because when you taste one of these, you're going to go through your roof. All right, how much are they? Bang, 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 bang. I sold every candy bar in the whole school. I sold all the candy bars the other kids couldn't sell. I sold out all the candy bars. Never in the history of the world or that school has it happened again since. So at the end of the day, I had the gift of gab, if there's such a thing, since I was 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that was a skill set that would make me wealthy. So at the end of the day, when I look back, Dariush, I say to myself, how come more people aren't in sales? Like, I don't understand people with a salaried position. I don't understand how you can say, you're allowed to tell me what I'm worth. Because when you're in sales and you have commission, you're worth whatever you're worth. And that's the good news about sales positions. That's why if you're in sales and you're a salesperson and you're talking about how underpaid you are, you better go look in the mirror, because salespeople get paid what they're worth. And that's why I chose sales at the end of the day. I can't be told I'm only worth X. Like, I don't agree. I'm worth whatever I want to be worth. That's a better option for me.
So you would say it's a gift, it's that humor, it's that personal skill that you bond with people very quickly.
Well, it's all about relationships, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, every dollar we've ever received is from a relationship. So if we realize that and we want more money, well, then we just need more relationships. So if you can get good at building and nurturing relationships, well, then, brother, you got a bigger network. And if you have a bigger network, you have more resources. And if you have more resources, you have more, resources. And at the end of the day, that's resources help you solve problems, and solving problems get you paid. So at the end of the day, if you want to make a bunch of money, just solve a bunch of problems. Well, if you're going to solve a bunch of problems, you need a bunch of resources. You need connections. You need leverage, right? Those are the relationships. So if somebody wanted to be rich, all they'd really have to do is just focus on building relationships.
Yes. Yes, and delivering on their promises.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah. It's just not building relationships. You got to deliver and make sure you work at it consistently. Now, you earned a lot of money at 17/18. Did you spend it wisely?
No.
How long did you do that for before you went to your next stepping stone, next position? I believe you got into training, right?
I've spent money frivolously until I was 55.
Sounds like me. I believe in abundance.
So do I. Again, I mean, I've never spent money and no more came. So it's like, when someone says, how much is it? If I got it, and I want it, dude, yes. I ain't worried about money. That shit'll fill back up.
I noticed, did you get the 296 GTS, wasn't it you were getting?
Yes, I did. I haven't received it yet, but I ordered it.
It's the most incredible car. Mine was, we met in Vegas and we both had our cars on order, if you remember. And I was driving along one day on the highway and I thought, you know what? Really rich people don't wait in lines for the car. I'm going to phone the salesman and see if he can kind of push me in front of the queue. And I phoned him up because, Dariush, I can't believe it. Somebody just canceled their order. Can you come round now? I did a U-turn, went to the showroom and bought the car on the spot. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable.
That's manifestation, brother.
It's beautiful because I had the F8 and that's a beautiful car. But you've gone and got a truck now again. So what's that about?
Well, I have multiple vehicles, my friend. Yes. I have 2 trucks, the Ford Raptor R, which is basically the Ferrari of trucks. And then I have the Dodge TRX, which is basically the Lamborghini of trucks.
Yeah, I had that one. I had it. Huge, yes.
Yeah, so those trucks are like my supercars. Like, dude, I prefer a truck over a freaking supercar.
I thought so, yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if shit hit the fan, okay, you're not going anywhere in your Bugatti, okay? Your Bugatti is going to be crushed by all the freaking Hummers and Ford trucks out there. If shit hit the fan, people are going to want a truck. So if you can mix fast, badass, killer with a truck, well, then I'm going to have that. So I have 2 of those, both of the top ones. And then I have obviously people movers because I got a family. So I've got Escalades and Denali's and things like that. And then I've got the 296 GTS, and I got a F8, and I have a 65 Cobra, Shelby Cobra.
That's super fast. What do you think of the Cybertruck? What's your opinion of the Cybertruck? Tesla's Cybertruck.
Oh, I think it looks like a wood splitting wedge. I don't like it. Like, I mean, it looks goofy. It looks like you get out wearing moon boots.
Yeah, you're not going to get one.
No, hell no.
Yeah, I'm mixed about it. I'm not sure.
Dude, so, you're going to look like an idiot jumping out of that.
I thought, it'd be good branding. Gladiator, Cybertruck down the highway. I don't know.
Dude,
but thank you.
You're going the opposite direction, Dariush.
Yeah.
Cybertruck is not Gladiator.
Okay, cool. Okay? Cool.
Gladiator is Gladiator. Okay? You wouldn't catch Leonidas getting out of a damn Cybertruck.
I agree with you. I'm going to introduce you to so many stuff when you get here, honestly. I went to Georgia a month ago, and I bought 5,500 olive trees. They're going to give me a return of minimum 45% to 65% for over 150 to 200 years, Brad. It's unbelievable.
You ain't going to get it for 200 years, but I hear what you're saying.
Because olive trees last that long, and they grow, and price of olives and olive oil is going up in price all the time. There's all sorts of investments I want to introduce to you and your family that people in the US don't know about.
Hey, you better hope a swarm of locusts don't come through.
Well, if it does, it's Georgia. It's not too hot, and they're very resilient, olive trees. I always thought they had to be in hot countries, but they're not growing as fast in Greece and Spain and places like that. So anyway, I'm going to introduce you to loads of new stuff in Dubai when you get over. How long were you in sales before you went into training?
My whole life, and so have you been, and so has everybody been. Everybody's in sales from the day they're born. I've been in sales since the day I was born.
Car sales?
All kinds of sales.
No, you were 17, 18. You were in that branch selling cars. What was your next move? What happened next?
I think I moved. I didn't move. I went to Las Vegas to visit my buddy for a weekend, spent all my money, had to get a job, needed some quick cash, got a job waiting tables. So I waited tables for a minute. And by the way, when I waited tables, crushed everybody at selling dessert. Everybody. They couldn't figure out how I was selling so much dessert. And they would listen to me at the table at the end to try and hear what I'm saying to get everyone to order dessert. And when I was quitting, they said, dude, how do you sell so much dessert? We've never figured it out. And I said, dude, you guys are asking them at the end of the meal when they're full for their dessert order,
Ask them
but they're full. And I said, I'm asking them at the beginning when they're hungry. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh my God. And dude, literally made all the difference in the world when it's just such common sense. So again, I've always had the knack and ability to find, I'll say common sense and persuasion. I have good common sense, which is I think a valuable asset. Common sense, if you have a good amount of common sense, you're probably going to be okay. And then when you can, couple that with persuasion, a little bit of humor, a little bit of charm, a little bit of charisma, You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know,
and you're
boom,
quite fast.
You're doing all right.
Yeah, but you're fast. You know, you get all that together very, very quickly, I noticed. In a heartbeat, you come up with an answer. In a heartbeat, maybe that is the common sense, but yeah.
No, that's the confidence.
And that comes in time. Or did you always have it?
Well, no, I didn't always have it, but you can develop confidence. You can build your confidence. You can build your self-worth. And coincidentally, if you want to build your net worth, you have to build your self-worth, because the reason you get what you get is because you think that's all you're worth. Yes. And you might not even realize the problem, but the problem is you and your self-image, because you're never going to outperform your own self-image.
Wow. And did you stay in Vegas? Did you fall in love with Vegas and stay?
No, I have a house in Nashville, Tennessee as well, but I don't know where my forever spots are. I think I would always have a place in Vegas. I've been here longer than any other place. It's a beautiful city. It's cool as hell. Obviously there's an underbelly, but there's an underbelly everywhere.
True.
There's an underbelly in Dubai.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, Dariush, to wrap all this up, I've been in sales my whole life, literally and figuratively. Even at 6 years old, I was kicking butt at sales. And again, I'm sure if I thought back, there were other sales contests that I won and other sales things that I did. And, I remember selling art for this art gallery. I sold Picasso's, Renoirs, Monet's, Chagall, Matisse, Salvador Dali. I sold art. I've sold RVs. I've sold all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, it's always been sales until I started my companies. And then obviously once I started my companies, I was still in sales. It was just now I'm selling my stuff instead of someone else's.
When did you start your first company? What were you doing? How fast you get into Lightspeed? I want to get into your relationship with Grant Cardone. I found out about yesterday when you posted something in your stories. So much to ask you, Brad. I know you're busy. I just want a bit more of your time. So why did you start your own business? Why did you get? Was that Lightspeed? Was that your company?
Well,
straight?
Again, I tried multiple businesses prior to Lightspeed that didn't really work out too well. But Lightspeed came around because of necessity. I was working at a car dealership. I was running the car dealership. I was what's called a general sales manager, which is, right under the big boss, which is the GM. So I was a GSM at the time. I was training people and putting them on the floor. We were crushing everybody in the market. And I had the knack of grabbing somebody out of a Burger King window or a shoe store or a landscaper and turn them into a salesperson. And literally watch their lives go from minimum wage to frickin' 15, 20 grand a month and witness what that little injection of money does to a family. And the world will try and convince you that it's a negative thing. I didn't see anything negative about elevating someone's income to a level that they've never witnessed and now can operate. I watched families get stronger, better, faster. I said, man, this is cool. I've got the ability to help people. So I quit my job to go start a training company. Went out and started the training company, but I couldn't get the same result. I couldn't get the same impact, and I couldn't figure out why. So I said, wait a minute. How did I used to do this, but I can't do it now? I'm doing the same thing. And I couldn't figure it out. So I'm like, well, let me just methodically go through everything I did. And once I did it, I realized, holy moly, there's 4 key ingredients, Dariush, to training. Okay, real training, effective training. Most companies, they don't have a training program. They have an exposure program. They're just exposing people to good information. Okay, but a training program, an actual training program, requires 4 things. Good content. You got to know the right way to do it in the first place. Repetition, practice, and accountability. You see, when I worked at a dealership and I had the people being developed every time like magic, it was because I was delivering good information with repetition, practice, and accountability.
You were on their case.
I was constantly helping them. And when I went out on the road, all I was doing was giving out good information. Well, good information wasn't making the impact that I wanted. I knew that if I wanted to make an impact in people's lives, I had to now, go work somewhere so I could give those 4 things. And then I thought, I don't want to live out of a hotel. Let me just, put this thing on the internet so I can say what I was going to say if I were there in person. Allow them to go through it with repetition, track what they're doing, test them, role play with them, practice with them online so they get the practice and the whatnot. And then have reports to tell me what they did, what they didn't do, what they know, what they don't know, and all that. So I went out and built that for my own training, started using it, boom, it started blowing up. Then I started running into competition like Grant Cardone. And so there was, 4 or 5 big names in the business, and I wasn't anybody. And I hit a certain point and started running into, all these places use these other people. So I said, well, let me ask you a question. If I had these people on my platform, would you pay monthly for it? And they said, absolutely. So I just said, hold on, I'll be right back. And then I rung them all up and closed them all on using my platform. And I just got what's called a piece for my niece, a fraction of the action, a tad for Brad, a slice because I'm nice. I just got a little piece of their revenue. So I white labeled my technology that I use for my own training and put theirs in it, and then showed them where the customers were and just took a piece of their business. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, dude, I would rather have 1,000 trainers be the star and go out and sell the training, and I'll just help them build the platforms.
Yes.
So I switched and I got out of training and I stopped being a guru and an expert, and I just helped all the experts build their brands and build their training empires.
Did it work out? That model, did it work out for a number of years? Or
it's still working out. Millions and millions and millions of dollars later.
Yeah, but you said, maybe we shouldn't mention, but somebody burned you, right? Somebody changed the rules of the game.
Nobody changed any rules to a game. You're talking about Grant.
Yes.
Grant tried to renegotiate at a certain point after, we made a deal. He wanted to renegotiate. Clearly, he owed me, 7 figures a month. He didn't really like the fact that, he was out there working as hard as he was and having to give me 20% of it. So he wanted to renegotiate that percentage.
Did he or didn't he? Did he manage?
Oh, he managed all right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you guys don't do business together anymore?
Yeah, we do business. He still sends me a check. It's just not as big.
I see. When we last met,
people always ask, who's the better closer, you or Grant Cardone?
Well, you
and I say
him.
every single time.
Yeah.
I say every single time.
Yeah.
He sends me a check every month.
Yeah.
I don't send him one.
Amazing.
Okay, so again, what position would you rather be in? So now to me, Grant's killed the game. Okay. He's obviously killed the game. I look back and I realize I let money get in front of our relationship. And that was a mistake on my part. I could have been a lot bigger, a lot better, a lot more wealthy had I focused on our relationship rather than the money. Now, again, he was focused on the money too, because in my mind, well, if we're buddies, why would he want me to have less just so he can have a little more when he has as much as he has? Like, he wasn't broke. Okay, I showed him how to build a $5 million, $6 million a month revenue stream from a password, and I paid for it all. So at the end of the day, I'm only getting $1 million of that. He's getting $4 million. Well, yes. Dude, he wanted more. I'm like, damn, dog, shit. Anyway, long story short, okay, he wanted to renegotiate. I didn't want him to renegotiate. Okay, at the end of the day, he chose money. I chose money. So our relationship, which at one point was like brothers, became like
limited
customers.
Yes.
So now he's my customer. Now, again, will I still take his call? Yes. Does he take my call? Yes. I'm not against him. I understand, a shrewd business person would have done the same thing, but I'm not a shrewd business person if that's what I would need to do, because I have abundance. I don't think I need to take some from Grant to get more for me.
Yes.
I would say I need to figure out how to get Grant more. Now, I would ask Grant to help me make more, but I would not be taking anything from him. I would just be using him, leveraging him to make more for myself. But he didn't do that. Now, again, 10X conference, dude, that I have him on my podcast admitting that was my idea. I got him to do those, and that turned out well.
Yes.
So again, Grant, I've been very lucky to have, met Grant and did business with Grant. Grant's helped my company and helped my brand and helped me immensely, for sure. And I know I've done the same for him. So because we have that mutual respect for each other, we're still doing business together, but we're just not hanging out playing backgammon and traveling like we used to.
Yes.
But that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. People, I think if you have too many friends, then you're not, your standards aren't high enough.
Yes, agree.
And by the way, we go to different churches.
Do you go to church?
Okay?
Do you go to church?
We go to different churches.
But do you go to church? I'm shocked that you go to church.
I'm the one with Jesus, baby.
Brad, you've come across
and by
a lot
the way,
of people.
His name was Yahshua.
Seriously.
Alhamdulillah.
No, I'm not going to go there. So,
hey, by the way, dude, when people say what religion are you? I always say Chrishislam. I'm a Chrishislam Jew.
You can be whatever you want to be here. You're going to be welcome. Brad, I'm going to ask you a deeper question. When you come across businesses like that, and I do a lot because I'm all heart and I believe in abundance and fairness and win-win. When you come across somebody who doesn't play on the same playing fields as you do, or don't have the same values, do you lose sleep at night? Or do you just get it over and say, that's the way it is, that's the way the cookie crumbles, let's move on? I allow it to bother me. It disappoints me a lot.
I don't obsess over anything and lose sleep over anything that I can't control, and I can't control other people.
Okay.
I can only control myself and how I react to things. So at the end of the day, I don't lose sleep because someone else is something.
Or maybe you've allowed somebody to take advantage by being caught off guard, or they hit at an angle that you weren't expecting. I think my character is I'm constantly abusing myself. I'm constantly kicking myself to grow and learn.
That's why you get goiters and styes and heart attacks.
That's another conversation. Okay, great. We met 3 years ago. You just opened your training center. Since then, it looks as you've exploded in all sorts of things. I see you talking about loans, training. You got different partners, companies. What's happened? And what are you up to right now?
Because you build a personal brand, Dariush, as you know, you get what's called deal flow. So you get a lot of people coming to you, offering you, partnerships and various things. And when I recognize something or a need for something or a problem that can be solved for people, I tend to just start another company. I'm getting now into the point where I just want to buy companies. I don't want to start them anymore.
Yes.
But I would start companies. And so like one day I looked at my processing fees, what we paid a processing company. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And then I'm like, have we shop this rate or anything? Have we even looked around? And everyone's like, no, we've been paying that for years. And I'm like, well, shop around. So someone shopped around and we found rates so much better than the one we had. And I'm like, I start looking into the industry and realize, man, dude, there are so many businesses overpaying. They can't even believe it, like ridiculously overpaying. And businesses don't even realize they're overpaying for their processing. They're getting nickeled and dimed and overpriced, overcharged. So I thought, man, why don't I create a real merchant services company that just gives people a good, straight, wholesale deal on merchant processing and get millions of people doing it? Like, what if I just leveled the playing field and just made good customer service, which nobody has in that business? Like, we'll answer the phone, okay? Good customer service and low ass rates, and including programs where we eliminate their rates. We've saved people 60 grand a month in processing fees.
Wow.
They're huge. That's a considerable amount of money. So,
Yeah, off your bottom line.
I just started a company, found somebody that's really good in that industry, partnered with them, and said, boom. And now I just basically promote it, and she runs it, and she's growing it like you wouldn't believe. So I just do that when I find a deal, and the deal comes like 10 times a day. Why? Because I have a personal brand. So again, my personal brand is definitely the reason I have all these businesses. It took me 20 years to turn Lightspeed into an 8-figure company. I've created 2 or 3 more, dude, in the last 2 years with a personal brand.
Yes, that's incredible. Are we gonna do a weekend resort at your place when you come over? What I'm thinking of doing a 2 or 3 day. People can fly from Dubai to Vegas and spend 2-3 days with us, and we do some Gladiator training, and you can turn up and motivate people and with your energy and your experience and your words of wisdom. Would you be open to that?
Absolutely. You know, I definitely want to put a package together for anyone that wants to go to Vegas. But I want to maybe come up with something that really changes lives. Like when they appear and go back home, there's like serious impact made.
We do that. I mean, with you, I'm totally different to the guy who actually does the 2-day training sessions. I do 14-hour sessions per day, 2 days in a row, and I hammer people. We do the Gladiator Mastery Program. So maybe we can actually take that package and bring it over and add your wonderful spices to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. We'll do amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you're talking about I just show up and join and collaborate and throw a little contribution in.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't want you to think that I want to milk your hours and time, and I just want to work with you. I want to show you one step at a time. It's taken me 3 years to get you here, so
I do that in a heartbeat, my man.
Thank you. I'll be honored. I'll be absolutely honored. I cannot wait. You're bringing your 2 daughters with you, right?
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, okay. Because if you're going to bring your, did we do the balloons, or was that you with the balloons?
You did the balloons.
Did we do that? What happened to the balloons there?
And the 2-year-old would probably not come along. I'm considering bringing the 11-year-old and the 9-year-old, but it depends on what's happening at the time. This is November. A lot can change.
I know. Okay. So I won't book the tickets then, because I have an 11-year-old and a pardon.
You need to book 2.
100% 2. I was thinking of booking 4, right? Because of your daughters. So I'll just wait. Maybe
I'll tell you
August.
what I'll do. I'll make the decision so you can make plans, because I forgot. Like you're bringing me over there, so I'll get you facts so you can do whatever you need to do.
Appreciate it.
Within.
We're gonna have some fun. You've interviewed everyone. Okay. What would you say is the most common factors, common denominators in successful people that you come across?
Skill set, mindset, habits.
Good habits, skill set. What about action, change? People are willing to change. Those are skill sets.
Listen, Dariush, as you know, change is required. Okay, you have to change, and you must change. And people are, opposed to changing sometimes, but they don't realize that you're changing whether you want to or not. The question is are you changing intentionally, or are you changing by chance? Because you're changing one way or the other. So you have to change. That's a fact, as you know. But the pillars in my mind for success, if someone were to come to me and say, Brad, coach me on how to become successful. Okay, the first thing I'm going to look at is your mindset, because you have to be abundant. You have to be optimistic. You have to be positive. You cannot be scarce, negative, doubtful, worry, anxiety. It doesn't work. So the mindset is a pillar. Then I'm going to move on to your skill set, because just because you're positive doesn't make you talented. And if you're not good at anything, well, then how are you going to freaking do anything? Just because you're positive, but you're average, it is possible to run positively in the wrong direction. So at the end of the day, mindset's only part of it. Now I got to get you talented. I got to get you good at something, right? You have to have skills. So where are your skills? That's a pillar, you know. And when you ask what successful, you know, people have the same, you know, consistencies, their mindsets, their skill sets, and their habits.
Yes.
You can track them. You can see who's successful by their habits. You can see who's successful by their skills. You can see who's successful by their mindset, you know, which controls your behavior, which controls your attitude, which controls your beliefs. See, the thing is most people don't realize that the reason they are where they are and they have what they have is because they did what they did and they do what they do. And when someone says, well, no kidding. Okay, well, why did you do what you do? And why did you do what you did? Well, I don't know. Most people don't stop and think like, why did I do all the things I did and choose all the things I chose, which is a result of where I am. Okay, so why did I? If you ask somebody, why did you do these things? They will very rarely understand the true answer to this. And the answer is your beliefs caused you to choose the way you chose. So your beliefs are what control your behavior.
Yes.
So if you want to change somebody's behavior,
Change the beliefs.
you have to change their belief.
Yes.
So how do you change your belief system? Well, that's the real question. And I mean, I had a way that I developed. It worked for me. I changed my belief system by getting new information. It was like, hey, wait a minute. Every time I get some new information, I start to think. And when I think, I find myself changing my mind, changing my belief, changing what I learn, you know, knowing more. You become to this state of knowingness, which, by the way, is a great state to be in, that certainty, right? And you get that certainty through memory of winning. Well, why don't we just win more often? So I developed these 6 steps. So these are one of the things I was going to talk to the Gladiator mastery event about, the 6 steps, right? I call them the sacred 6. But ultimately, you need to rebuild a relationship with yourself.
So true.
And most people don't know how to do that. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They don't know why they're not where they want to be. They don't know why they act the way they act or think the way they think. And no one takes the time to figure it out.
Do you think it's because they're too scared to look in the mirror? They may not like what they see.
No, again, it's the story they're running in their mind about what they believe to be the truth. Mm-hmm. You know. At the end of the day, if you really are interested in changing your life, all you have to do is change your perspective. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? Like, you literally just change the way you look at something. What you look at changes.
Yes.
So like, you could literally put this 2 different people in the same exact situation, and one could be thankful and one could be pissed. And
Absolutely.
It's the same exact situation. Why is this one so thankful and grateful to be in this position while this person's so pissed off about it? Well, it's perspective. So at the end of the day, even though you may, be in a situation where you're not everything you want to be, and you're dealing with problems and situations, and you don't know. Hey, listen, that's what's called life, right? Well, again, why are you having to deal with those things? If you break those down, Dariush, people come to some answers that they don't want to hear. And they don't want to hear it because if it's been this simple my entire life.
Why have I missed it?
Yeah, why am I? And by the way, that's your ego talking, and your ego thinks you're going to die if it's wrong. So now all of a sudden you're arguing with yourself, you're arguing with everybody else instead of just changing.
So true.
Like, change, brother, change.
I feel your passion. Do you is it because you really care about people? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because dude, listen, my whole family, my whole life has been blue collar, hard working, good people. But blue collar, good working, hard people aren't getting paid.
They don't win.
They're not winning financially for sure. So it's like, wait a minute, why not try and help those people get some money? Because it's the good people that need the money, deserve the money, and quite frankly, will do more with the money.
So money magnifies.
Money magnifies. So I want good, hard-working, blue-collar people to understand how to get paid.
Brad,
so again, I'm putting together a program.
What's driving you now? You don't need the money anymore, right? So, what parts
of
running?
I still need money. What are you talking about, dude? I need money.
You want money. You don't need it, right? But
no, I need it, brother. And by the way, think about this. There's a lot of people that separate need and want. You don't need it. You want it. Okay, if I want it, I need it. Like the second I say I want that,
you create the need.
That.
Yeah, I think
so. People need to understand, how do you turn a want into a need? Because a lot of people are like, well, you don't need it, you just want it, and somehow justify like, yeah, that's true. I guess I don't need it.
I think
if you want it,
yeah.
Lie to yourself if you have to, but now you need it. I need that F8. I need that car. I need that girl. I need that better job. I need that watch. I need that shit.
I think need fulfills a requirement. A want has an emotional attached to it. So when you want something, it's more powerful, and then you create the need. In my humble opinion, in sales.
I just made up an acronym for NEED. I just made it up in my head as you were talking. Never ending, what did I say? Never ending eternal desire.
Oh, wow. Should we patent that one right now?
Never ending eternal desire.
Let's trademark it. Done.
NEED. Done. Never ending and eternal desire. If you can get that kind of conviction towards something, you're gonna achieve it. Yes. But you have to freaking literally focus all your time and energy on the attainment of that goal. So again, folks, if you want to have more confidence, just win more often. Okay, so if you want to win more often, you just lower. No one will tell you this but me. Lower your goals. What does that mean? When I wake up in the morning, if I raise my heart rate, that's a win. If I eat right, that's a win. If I drink water, that's a win. If I brush my teeth, that's a win. I make the littlest things wins. So I'm winning all day, every day. And by the time lunch comes around, dude, I am a damn champion. Number one, I wake up with more gratitude than most people do on the planet collectively, because I realize that waking up is worth more than any amount of money I'm trying to get anyway. If you offered me right now, if I went over there in the big chic, or the shake, as you guys call them, if I go over there and the shake, offered me $1 billion, but I would give it to my family and be beheaded in the morning, meaning he wants to pay me $1 billion to kill me, or he wants to give me $1 billion, but I can't live after that. I wouldn't take $1 billion. Would you?
No.
Okay, so you're telling me waking up and getting tomorrow is worth more than $1 billion? Well, how come you don't act like it then?
So true.
How come we don't act like it when we wake up? Because if I just gave you $1 billion and you figured out this is real, I really gave it to you, you would freak out, brother. You would be running around. You'd be calling your friends, your family. Nobody could rain on your parade. You definitely wouldn't be down here in worry, fear, doubt, and anxiety. You'd be up here in abundance and hope and positivity, which is where you need to be. So your vibration is literally attracting the like, because most people don't understand frequency, dude. There's another thing I'm going to talk about when I'm there. Frequency. There's a couple of meanings to frequency. You've got frequency meaning how often, and then you've got frequency meaning what vibration, on what frequency are you at? Well, number one, frequency meaning how often is important, but I think more importantly is the frequency that you're emitting, because what you emit is attracted. So when you wake up in doubt and fear and worry and anxiety, your vibration, your frequency is down here when you need to get it up here. So if you can realize how valuable waking up is, and you can trick your brain into appreciating immensely just waking up, well, then you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Because like if I broke into your home and I put a gun to your head and you were begging and pleading for me to not kill you, and then I said, but wait, Dariush, you have rent to pay and you don't have enough. What would you think about your rent problem?
I'll find the money. It's nothing.
Yeah, don't worry about the rent. I'll sleep on the street if I need to. And I say, yeah, but your car payments due, Dariush, and you don't have the money.
Yeah. No reason to kill me. No, I'll find the money. I'll do it.
That's what people don't understand. We control our minds. And once you realize this.
What makes you think like this? What happened in your life? Because I'll tell you what happened I feel exactly the same because I've seen death in my family. From a very young age, people started dying left, right, and center. And I realized that most people live life like they're going to be living forever, right? So what happened to you for you to see the world as you do and live in gratitude?
Dude, it's just common sense.
You were just born
to
with
me,
it.
It's common sense. It's common sense. To me, it's common sense. I can't believe people don't realize how lucky they are just to have the day. So if you're really and honestly like grateful for that, well, now you're in the frequency of gratitude. Your vibration is of gratitude. Okay, you cannot hate in gratitude. You cannot freaking be down here on the tone scale with gratitude and love and optimism and abundance and enthusiasm and excitement and appreciation. I always tell people like their wives. There's so many guys that want to complain about their wife and then wonder why they don't, appreciate them. Well, you realize if you appreciate your wife, she'll appreciate. So again, it's like, this is common sense.
Wow. Appreciate
your wife and she'll appreciate. Your biggest complaint is your wife doesn't appreciate all the things you do for her. Well, again, do you appreciate her? Most guys don't. They're not appreciative of their wife because they bitch, complain, moan, don't clean, all the things you hear guys bitch about their girl. Well, at the end of the day, if you go analyze, because 9 times out of 10, Dariush, we're the problem every time.
True.
Okay, so when you like trace this down to common sense, I choose how I react. So you can do whatever you want to do. I choose how I react to that. The reaction, causes the action, and the action causes the reaction. So if you realize every action has a reaction, and you control the reaction, then you can control the action. So I can't control your action, but I can control my actions. And so, like, if I'm smarter about what I do, okay, then better things are going to happen. And then if I'm smarter on how I react, well, then better things are going to happen. Like, I'm in control. Holy shit. How come nobody told me this? So that's why I get excited, because once people are aware and now it's above their consciousness, they are aware of it. See, a lot of people don't realize subconscious is simply below awareness. Like sub is below and conscious is aware.
Yes.
So below aware, I'm not aware. It's below my awareness. Okay, well, if you put it above that line where you are now aware of it, well, now you're in control. Yeah. And if you're conscious of it, you can now, be intentional about it. And most people need more intention in their lives.
Yes.
Most people need to put intention to things. Most people expect negative. When I'm training salespeople, I tell them, stop expecting negativity. So many salesmen, oh, I don't want to knock on the door at 6 p.m. Damn, they're probably during dinner. I wouldn't want to be interrupted in dinner. They're not going to want to be interrupted during dinner. Dude, you must not believe in the product that you have. If you had a cure for cancer and the cancer patient was in there having freaking dinner,
you'd be knocking on that door.
Yeah. You'd be worried that they might not want to be interrupted in dinner. No, you'd pound that door down and you'd kick the door in and you'd say, I got the cure. But you don't believe in your product enough. And again, if that's the case, someone's like, that's true. Well, then, dude, I'd say sell something else. Why? Because life's too short to sell something you're not into. It's easy to sell things that you're excited about, that you're enthusiastic about, that you're certain about, because your frequency's up here. Your vibrations are different. Okay, when you're walking around knowing you're a dirtbag, your product's not very good. You're just trying to pay rent because you need to pay rent. You're worried about your wife cheating on you. You're worried about your freaking kids not getting into a good enough school or having the right health care. Money's not coming like you want it to. Well, where's your vibration? Your vibration's down here in doubt, fear, worry, anxiety, and every other negative zone. Okay, well, that's what you're putting out now, and that's what's coming in now, because literally frequency attracts like frequency. And if you think about frequency as what I frequently see makes your frequency. So what do I frequently see? I frequently see problems and negativity and headlines and the nonsense. You're allowing all of this into your head. And what do you think grows when you plant something? You plant corn, corn grows. You plant wheat, wheat grows. Okay, well then don't be surprised when you plant shit and shit grows.
Have you ever
want to get rid of your problems? You want to get rid of all your problems in life? Guess what? No, you don't. Most people would say yes to that. Start asking people, if I could snap my fingers and remove all the problems in your life, would you want me to? And they'd be like, yeah.
But you wouldn't.
If you had zero problems in your life, you'll die.
So true. Brad, have you ever got to a place where you're comfortable and you stop growing? Because I went through that stage recently where I hit all my goals and I had all the money and I just got relaxed and I felt I was dying. I wasn't growing at the speed, but I had nothing and I want to achieve something. So complacency set in. Have you come across people who, or maybe even yourself, we talked about, I have this vision of having a six pack and then I go into the gym intensely, get the six pack and then I relax. There's something I need to keep it going, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. But again, it is my belief that people that are facing that, as a lot of people do, and no, I do not, is because you don't really want a six pack.
That what is it that I want? And I'm telling myself, what's my belief?
Again, dude, I could send you an invoice for counseling, but I mean, at the end of the day,
to the listeners,
that's a discussion you should have with yourself, brother.
At the end of the day, when someone
says, I'll go in, I'll get in shape, but I just can't keep that fire, that motivation. I can't stay motivated. Okay, then you don't want it.
Enough.
Dude, you just don't want it. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay not to have a six pack.
Do you know what I think it is? I think if you have a spot,
would you rather be happy, fat, and happy, or shredded and miserable?
I like to be shredded and happy. You can be.
There wasn't a choice. Would you rather be fat and happy or shredded and miserable?
Fat and happy.
Okay, then guess what? When you get shredded, you start realizing this doesn't make me happy. Okay, well then why worry about what everybody else thinks? And then you start questioning yourself and you're like, oh, this isn't working out. And holy smoly, what's wrong with me? Why do you think there's something wrong with you? This is the part that I get freaking twisted. Everybody is so worried about what everybody else thinks. It's called allodoxophobia if you look it up. Allodoxophobia is crippling to some, and it makes no sense to me. What does your opinion of me have to do with me?
Nothing.
What does your limitations have to do with me? Why? Because you believe I can't do it, should that be the truth? It doesn't mean I can't do it. And again, I honestly believe this. Some people don't. They don't believe that. So when you're sitting there going, man, how come I can't stay motivated? I should want to keep these apps because it does feel good when I get them. And yeah, I sure like having them. But man, again, scrape away all the nonsense and just look at the truth. If you don't keep doing it, it's because you don't want to.
Enough. Yes.
Okay, and if you don't want to, who is that talking? Some people will say, dude, that's the bitch voice. You better just silence that bitch voice. Well, again, if you want to keep your abs, silencing the bitch voice, if that's what you want to call it, is 100% what you should do. Do it anyway. Man up, shut up, and just do the work. Stop bitching, stop complaining, just pay the price. You're going to pay either way. You're going to pay to be fat or you're going to pay the price to be shredded. You're going to pay to be fat too. So pick which one you want to pay. It's going to be a price no matter what. Okay, well, that's one perspective, which is true. There's nothing wrong with that perspective. That is the truth. What's wrong with the perspective of, hey, wait a minute. If being shredded doesn't make me happy, well, then why do I need to be shredded? What's wrong with that perspective? I don't need to be shredded. Oh, that's just you're being weak and blah, blah, blah. I don't need to be shredded. Who said I need to be shredded? If I'm happy and I'm killing life, I'm enjoying life, everything's wonderful, but I got a dad bod. There's something wrong with me? According to whom? Okay, according to him and her and her and him and him and him. Why not according to me? There's nothing wrong with it. Enough said. Enough said. That's it. Boom. I don't have abs. Go f yourself. Okay. Next. Why? I'm happy. I'm happy, man. Now, if you're not happy, because again, we get too fat sometimes, and guess what happens? We're not happy. And you know what we do? We go to the gym because we're not happy with that level of fatness. And then you go to the gym and you get to here and you're like, okay, you're not happy anymore. So now you go back and you can't figure out what makes you happy. And that's the problem, is most people do not figure out what it is they truly want. Because the hardest thing to do is to figure out what you want. It's easy to get it once you figure it out. So figure out what you want. You don't want abs, bro. You don't want them.
I want to look in the mirror and feel sexy. I will do me.
Well, again, then you better change your definition of sexy.
I'll work on it. A couple of more questions. For how many years have you been doing dropping bombs?
I think I started that in 2018.
Okay, so you've interviewed hundreds of people.
Yes, I have 780 episodes.
Crazy. Do you have 2 or 3 memorable bonds you'd like to share? And are there any people you want to interview and you would look forward to interviewing?
Yeah, I mean, I like to interview people with unique stories, overcoming adversity, things that they can share, knowledge that they can transfer to other people that are listening that might just somehow help them get out of a situation or avoid a situation. That's what I wanted that podcast to be. It's information to just share with people about various experiences people have had to avoid the, obstacle themselves or the pain themselves. That's why I wrote my book.
Beautiful. I read it. I bought it off Amazon.
At the end of the day, brother, I think, people need to just simplify your life, simplify everything. Relax. Number 1, relax. Number 2, everything's going to be okay. Number 3, shift your mind to abundance. Pick up some skill sets. What skill sets, you might ask? Sales, closing, persuasion, marketing, communication, relationships, building trust. Like, there's skills that you can possess that literally will guarantee you financial success. Then, with your mind and your self-development and your personal growth journey, just make sure you understand that in order to change, which we must do, we have to change our behavior. We have to change our behavior. Well, then we have to change our belief. So just remember that if you have to change your beliefs, you have to get new information. That's the only way you can change a belief, is to get new information. So every day I'm looking in books and podcasts and opportunities and experiences, and I'm just looking for information. Why? Because truth be told, the reason I'm not where I want to be is because I don't know something I need to know, or I don't know someone I need to know. So knowing this, common sense tells me, well, then get all the information you can and meet as many people as you can. Get on this podcast, go to Dubai, say yes to that invite, get out into the world before the world ends, because one day your world will end.
Brad, I was in Necker Island a couple of months ago. It's Richard Branson's island, and this man's 73. Gets up.
Hey, did you see my footprints in the sand?
Have you been?
Yeah.
When did you go?
I ruined my iPhone there.
No. Well, okay. Well.
By the way, waterproof iPhones in the ocean
they don't
are not
work.
waterproof.
No, they don't. But did you see that, how he gets up at 5 a.m, goes for 2-hour bike rides? Somebody says to him, I want to have a game of paddle tennis. He goes, okay. Then he goes, tennis, yes. Chess, yes. He says yes to every opportunity.
I played him in chess.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he beat me.
Yeah, he beat me. Amazing guy. Absolutely
when
amazing.
I come there, I want to play you in chess.
Done. Let's do it. I have a chessboard here at home. I've got a few surprises for us. Super excited. Brad, thank you, man. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you from
Thanks for having me.
all the gladiators. Thank you for being so humble. You're a force for good, brother. You're a force for good, and I salute you. Really do.
Thank you.
Please send me the dates, the names, everybody coming over, and let's just get it booked and let's just make it happen, right? I'm just
Let's
waiting
make
for
it
you.
happen. Likewise, I appreciate coming on and having me on, and I look forward to meeting everyone when I get there. And hopefully you have a packed house and we can change some lives, drop some bombs, and frickin' make waves.
I want to show you what we can do here, and hopefully, and I know in my heart you'll be impressed. We'll do it all over the world together. I promise you that. Love you very much,
welcome.
man.
All right, buddy.
Love
Talk
to
soon.
the family.
Thanks for having me.
Have an amazing day. Thank you, Gladiator.
Thank you.
I salute you. Bye-bye. Bye.